We both squint, staring at the task laid in front of us, and I know there's no easy way of getting down. My boyfriend, Jacob, stands next to me, cold hands shoved into his pockets, pink nose stark against the white snow that completely envelops every aspect of our vision. We're 4.5 miles into a 7-mile hike deep in the Rocky Mountain National Park in the dead of winter, and 2 months into the journey of our relationship. Piles of snow bury nearly everything except the tallest tree trunks and branches, and even those are droopy and weighed down with the flakes that won't stop falling from the sky. A steep downhill trail faces us with no traction, no rocks to balance yourselves on, and nothing to stop you from tumbling down if you fall. I'm a pretty indecisive person. I guess I always have been. I start thinking about what to cook for dinner when I wake up in the morning because it truly does take me all day to figure it out. Fish tacos, scrambled eggs on an English muffin, coleslaw sandwich. Sometimes I make the best decisions under pressure because at least I'm, well, forced to decide. Today, however, at Rocky Mountain National Park, I'm unsure about a lot. I haven't settled on how to tackle getting downhill, and I don't know how I feel about the person standing next to me. Hiking is a form of meditation for me. I'm able to melt into the silence and the continuous step after step forward. It gives me the mental space to reflect on whatever I need to reflect on that day, and I always leave something in the woods behind me when I finish a hike. Today, mile after mile on this hike, I've been thinking about love. That scares me. I'm looking at the person next to me this entire time thinking, holy shit, I might actually love this guy. And the guy who keeps me grounded when my head is too high in the clouds, the guy that supports my passions and all my craziness that comes along with those passions. The guy that somehow can't get out of bed without tangling himself in the sheets and falling over. The guy who is with me despite my inability to decide what I'm having for dinner. I love him, I think. How am I supposed to know if I love someone? I sigh as I continue to stare at this sharp descent in front of me. I'm tired of thinking about the different ways to get down. I'm also getting tired of me and this endless mental battles back and forth. I take a deep breath and I look at Jacob. He says nothing and stares back at me, one of his eyebrows slightly raised, and I take off, sprinting down the steep face because that's what my gut told me to do. I get enough momentum and that I'm running down this trail with giant leaps, praying it'll keep me on my feet until it flattens a bit, and I'm laughing because it feels like I'm jumping on the moon and I'm just floating downhill. And when I get to the bottom, I turn around and look up, expecting to see him on the top shaking his head or looking at me funny, but no. This kid is right beside me, and I realized the moment he saw me take off, he took off right behind me. No questions asked. He had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but he followed me anyways. I left my fear and my insecurities about love behind in the woods that day. But how do I tell him? Now that's what I'm trying to determine throughout our post-hike dinner. What if it scares him? What if he doesn't feel the same way? These thoughts are racing through my mind as we share a giant warm cookie skillet, and we ordered for dessert after almost freezing ourselves like popsicles on the hike today. I'm still thinking about it as we crawl exhausted into bed, and he pops open a couple beers. He hands me my beer, and we have a few sips in silence. Then he looks at me and he says, Kat, I love you. There's no moment of me thinking, no moment of indecisiveness or doubt. In an instant, I say, I love you too.